Give me big old buckets of butterbeer. Give me big old barrels of butterbeer. Give me the drink I love so dear. And another round for my friend right here of the sweet old butter beer.
Welcome to the Three Broomsticks. We invite you to pull up a chair, grab a butterbeer, and settle in for a hearty and silly discussion about Harry Potter. I'm Irvin Cateman.
I'm Sophia Jenkins.
And I'm Sierra Obermark. And today we have with us special guest, Leah Jameson. Woo, woo, woo!
Hi.
Welcome back, welcome back.
Thank you so much. It's great to be back here. You guys just can't seem to keep me away.
True story. We wouldn't have it any other way.
Yes.
Would you like to refresh our listeners on your Harry Potter stats? Your house, your favorite book, favorite character, all of that loveliness?
Oh, I would love to. So my name is Leah Jameson, Hogwarts House, Gryffindor. It's always sort of been that way. You guys have probably, if you listen to the podcast, you've heard me go through this, so I'll try to be brief or at least unique in what I'm saying. But Hogwarts House, Gryffindor, Journey to Potter. I started on book 3, unconventionally, and quickly became obsessed. My favorite book is Deathly Hallows because I just have the most visceral memories of reading that book. And favorite character is Ginny. I just think she's badass and she deserves more credit than she is given in the movies. So hopefully TV series shows up for that. And
justice for Ginny.
Yeah, for real, for real. My Patronus is a dolphin. That's fun.
Ooh.
And then in the theme of this episode, I think I must say one of my favorite Harry Potter pickup lines, and there are so many out there. Holy cow, when I was overwhelmed. But I like, okay, you don't need to say Axio, which, how do you pronounce that? Sorry, let me restart.
I always say Asio.
Okay. Well,
Asio, yeah.
Asio seems the most apropos.
Asio?
Yeah. You don't need to say Asio. I already came.
Oh, that's a good one.
I thought
That is excellent.
And thank you for having me. And I'm so happy to be here. And thank you for the warm intro.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, exactly. Oh boy. Well, in case you haven't caught on to the theme today, for episode number 69, we've gathered to discuss innuendo in Harry Potter. Recommended reading, whatever you guys want.
Just go to AO3, pick explicit, go nuts.
Yes, exactly. Go to AO3, read all of the fun fanfic out there. This episode does have a spoiler warning for the birds and the bees. This is going to be less child-friendly. I would argue not child-friendly, looking through some of the comments that will be coming. Just keep that in mind if you have delicate ears about.
Yep. It's gonna be great. We have been waiting to do this for so long, and the time has come. But before we begin, want to offer a huge thank you over to Katie Riken over on our Patreon, who bought us this round of drinks at the pub. So whoop whoop!
Yay!
Thank you, Katie.
Woo!
I hope you will not have buyer's remorse after you listen to this nonsense, but either way.
And we're very thirsty, so thank you.
Listeners, if you would like to buy us around at the pub, please head on over to patreon.com/Three Broomsticks with the numeral 3 to sign up. We have so much cool bonus stuff going on over there. Sophia and I talk about planning parties. Ev and I, pretty much every year when I go to visit Ev, we just go on crazy adventures. You can hear all about that. And honestly, who knows what else you'll hear among our bonus content. And we'd really appreciate your help keeping the lights on at the Three Broomsticks so we can talk about Harry Potter for a long time to come.
Let us offer a toast to the comments on episode 66. The episode was centered around Narcissa Malfoy, and we raise our glass to commenter Beezytrix, who said, regarding whether Narcissa's actions at the Battle of Hogwarts absolve her of her other misdeeds, while that doesn't cut it for my personal ethics, I kind of agree that within the logic of the books, or at least Harry's logic, maybe it does. Harry is willing to name one of his children after Severus Snape, despite hating the man for 7 years and seeing the many horrible things he's done, all because he died for the right cause in the end. Then again, perhaps it's that idea of sacrifice that actually absolves Snape in the logic of the books. If Narcissa died, would that absolve her? Or at least get a kid named after her?
100% about the kid. Like, we would have Lily Narcissa Potter.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
I do agree, for sure. I think that if Narcissa, having essentially saved Harry, but then dying heroically at the end there, it wouldn't be Lily Luna, it would be Lily Narcissa.
Yeah. I personally, I don't really see the Snape comparison as making sense from that angle, as in, I think that Snape did a lot more to make up for his past misdeeds. Like, he literally spent like 16 years of his life fighting to take down Voldemort and putting himself at a huge amount of risk throughout that time. And like, I think he has like a complete, even though his personality doesn't change, even though his personality still sucks, his life's mission, his ideology, etc., we see a complete change. Whereas with Narcissa, like, she continues to be she continues to believe in all of the terrible things that Voldemort believes in, be kind of like, yeah, I would be fine if Voldemort was, like, stuck around except for what it's doing to her own family. So, I don't know. I just don't see Narcissa as, like, someone who you could compare to Snape in that same way. Or I think you could compare them, but I think they're so different that, in my mind, Snape does redeem himself from at least his Death Eater activities. He doesn't redeem himself from being an absolute terrible personality. But from his Death Eater activities, I think he does redeem himself, whereas Narcissa, I don't think does, because she still believes all of those things. She's still happy to have bad things happen to Muggleborns. It's all just about her own son.
I think, like, part of what makes them weird to compare, because I hear you there, like, I think part of that, why Snape ultimately gets more redemption in Harry's eyes and maybe in the reader's eyes, is because of this, like, proximity aspect. Like, Harry has this, like, cognitive dissonance of, like, having daily interactions with this man. Whereas with Narcissa, it's sort of like this idea of a person that he doesn't really encounter as often. I think it's harder to hate someone if you have to be around them all the time.
I would have actually said that he hates Snape far more than he hates Narcissa. I don't think he cares that much about Narcissa.
And I disagree with both of you. I'm with Beezytrix on this one. I think you can absolutely compare them. Snape believed all the same terrible things Narcissa did right up until someone he loved was threatened by Voldemort. And it was only that threat that made him turn away. That happened a bit sooner for Snape, but I think they were completely on parallel journeys. And frankly, we never see Snape become this great, like, defender of equality and champion of Muggleborns. Like, no, he stopped using mudblood, but that's about as far as it goes. And more to the point of the hypothetical, if Narcissa had sacrificed herself, from Harry's value system, from, like, a Gryffindor's POV, noble, daring, like, bold and chivalrous self-sacrifice fixes everything. like, you know, it fixed everything for Snape. And in my opinion, Snape had a lot more red in his ledger than Narcissa did. So I think if Narcissa had done a brave thing and lost her life doing it, like, Harry would absolutely, like, lionize her as much as he did Snape.
I think what's very different with Snape is that, like, I don't think the only reason that Harry forgives Snape is that he died as part of, like...
Oh, we'll have to disagree on that one, because I think that's all it is.
Because it's not just that, it's that Snape was working against Voldemort for the last 16 years. Like, it wasn't just like, oh, Snape just, like, had a moment of being like, oh, guess maybe I did the wrong thing, and then all of a sudden dies to protect Harry or do whatever. I mean, to be honest, his death, honestly, the death itself is not particularly... it is not really a sacrifice for a good cause. Like, the actual death is pretty meaningless. It's the risking his life for 16 years that is the actual brave thing. Like, in his actual death, there's nothing brave, really, about his death. He didn't sacrifice himself in his death for any cause. It's everything that came before it.
Yeah, but I think it's given meaning because it resulted in his death. I feel like if sort of Snape had done the brave thing, spied on Voldemort and all that, and then lived to continue being an asshole, like, I don't think we'd have any kids named after him.
Well, sure, but, like, in general, I think it's less common to, like, I think that often naming your kid after someone is something you do when that person is dead. That's not always true, but, like, it is often something you do to, like, carry on their legacy. And if Snape was around to carry on his own legacy and have his own redemption in, like, to have everyone in the world realize, oh, wow, you actually were fighting for us, and, like, to recognize what he had done, I don't think Harry would have needed to, because Snape would have gotten the recognition he deserved. So I think he names his kid after him so that he can get that recognition. And because I think he knew it would make people uncomfortable. Like, I think he did it because he knew that people had a very one-sided idea of what Snape was like, and he wanted people to see, like, I recognize that he had another side to him that didn't, like, that he never got to, like, I think he sees the tragedy in the fact that Snape never got any recognition for what he did for the cause, and that's why he names his kid after him.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I think we need to get away from Snape before, it completely derails all.
Sexy, so,
yeah. So, well done, Beezy Tricks. You got us arguing about Snape and Narcissa. Not that it takes very much to set us off, but it was a great comment. I had a lot of fun with it. And with that, are you guys ready to dive on in?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So any discussion of innuendo and outuendo in Harry Potter has to begin with wands. Just, the wand is a penis.
Yes.
There's no, like, great, deep literary analysis there. It's just phallic.
It just is.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, like, you can like read pretty much the whole series, and it's just one very long dick joke.
Yep.
I started to research this control effing wand, and I was
Me too.
That's not a very useful way of going through it, to be honest. So this will be nowhere near a comprehensive overview of the wand innuendos, but I thought we could hit up some highlights.
Yeah.
And, I'd argue that it begins with the very first time that we set foot in a wand shop.
Yes, there's a lot of measuring happening. Ollivander is clearly measuring Harry up, and that's a weird undertone of the age gap there, but he does so with all 11-year-old boys and girls. suppose.
Well, you know what they say about wizards with a big space between their nostrils.
What do they say, Irvin? What exactly do they say?
I mean, big nostril space, big wand, clearly.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's really the only possible explanation of all the measuring of his body is that, he expects the wand to be proportional. I don't know.
Yeah, the wand doesn't only choose the wizard, the wand matches the wizard.
Exactly. Or maybe the wand compensates for the wizard's lack of...
Like Voldemort! He has a really long wand because he doesn't have Voldy bits anymore.
Perhaps.
It makes complete sense.
Isn't his wand... Wait, his wand is like... How long is his wand? Like 13 inches or something?
Yeah.
That's really long.
I think the only person with a longer wand than Voldemort is Hagrid, with 16.
Well,
That makes sense.
That's genetics.
Hagrid is quite large in other ways.
It's proportional, is what we're saying.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's all
exactly.
proportional.
Yeah. So Jo's actually come out about this, and she's like, the wand length is a measure of, like, character and magical ability. It's not just about height. We're like, sure, fam, sure.
Magical abilities, yeah.
Uh-huh. Magical abilities, if you know what I mean. Yes, the measuring is great fun, but I think, like, when you say innuendo, my mind immediately goes to the weighing of the wands.
Yes. I mean, even that title, like, even calling it the weighing of the wands,
yes.
very...
Hinty. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, the entire scene is a penis joke, like all 4 pages of it. But the single best exchange between Ollivander and Cedric. Leah, do you want to read it since you pulled up the quote first?
I would absolutely love to. 12¼ inches, ash, pleasantly springy. It's in fine condition. You treat it regularly? Polished it last night, said Cedric, grinning. Grinning is key. Honestly, the word grinning is key. It gives a very specific look there.
It really does.
Yeah.
And I love Harry's immediate reaction. Harry looked down at his own wand. He could see finger marks all over it. He gathered a fistful of rope from his knee and tried to rub it clean surreptitiously. Several gold sparks shot out the end of it.
Like I said, the
And then
whole
Fleur,
scene.
looks sideways at him.
There's a consistent gold theme for, like, the essence of Harry.
Of Harry,
Because we
Oh
see
my
gold
God.
sparks, and then, like, when it's the polyjuice, he's gold. It's,
Yes.
I wonder if that's consistent in other areas.
Oh, it is actually. We'll get to it later. I have a quote that also has gold stuff shooting out of Harry's wand that also is really funny.
I mean, there's a lot that shoots out of his wand. We're reading a coming of age story.
Yeah.
And it's high quality, apparently. It's very desirable.
And I love that in this exchange, it's like between Cedric and Harry, because like this whole book is basically like Harry comparing himself to Cedric and like being like, I'm not as good as Cedric is. I'm not getting the girl, whatever. And I love that he's like, oh shoot, like Cedric has the best wand that he polishes regularly. Like, I gotta polish it right now.
Yeah, I mean, the like look down at his own wand is just like such a sentence.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I ship Harry Cedric, so like I'm so here for it. Like it's my one slash ship for Harry. Like I don't generally love Harry and slash ships, but like with Cedric it just works because Cedric's wand is so highly polished.
It's so highly polished.
The weighing of the wands, like the name of the it made me picture like an old-timey scale, where you would just like slap one on either end.
Yeah.
But that never happens. But can you just imagine? That would be so lovely.
As a kid, I remember just being utterly confused by why it's called the weighing of the wands. And I still don't understand. It's like they aren't weighed. Like, why is it called the weighing of the wands? So it feels like a very intentional, like, oh, who has the best wand? Like,
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, they go over, like, what it's made of and what the size is and, like, all the different, like, bits about it, but there's not actually, like, a weight to wands. So it does seem very misnamed, a misnomer, I would suppose.
I mean, agree to disagree. There is a weight to the wands. Like, the wands weigh something.
but they don't weigh them in the ceremony.
Yeah, and when you measure a wand, you measure the length. You don't measure the weight.
Well, sure, but if the
girth.
wands have a consistent density based on the core, then I feel like once you have the length, assuming they're similar in circumference, you could, in fact...
But we can't assume that.
that, Irvin.
I'm sorry. Are you assuming someone's girth?
Yes, I am. Because we always hear when a wand is unusually thick. Which lends me to believe that most wands are of average girth, that it's quite uniform.
Okay, but that, if you really want to know,
we really want to know.
If you really want to know, you'd have to measure it around.
And, for certain characters, I will volunteer to do so.
Which ones, Irvin?
Well, definitely Fleur. We'll start with her.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, Cedric. I just love Cedric. But yeah, no, fair enough. I think the weighing of the wands is Joe having fun with alliteration. It also,
I think so,
it could be
too.
like, I also always read it as magically weighing them. Sort of like, like weighing to make sure there's, like, enough magical ability in them type thing.
Sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. God, way to be logical about it. Goodness.
I mean, we're gonna try to bring a little bit in here, right? We're not just going to, we're not just going to read dirty lines for 2 hours.
Oh, can we please?
Irvin!
That's not what the doc says.
I mean, we'll read dirty lines for like 90% of the 2 hours, but we want to toss in a bit of analysis. It's just like when during the pandemic I had smutty book club with my friends and, we read a book called Learn My Lesson. And then I was like, all right, so everybody, which characters do you think learned their lesson at the end? You gotta give a bit of legitimacy to the whole enterprise.
Sure.
Okay, fine. Go ahead, read your next dirty line.
Whoops. My line is a little overexcited. That is from one and only Lockhart. We know is
God.
just a drama queen in the bedroom. We can just picture it now. It's a whole show.
Yes.
He's got mirrors everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
That's what the portraits are for.
He's got the whole ceiling mirror, though. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But, again, how much you want to bet that, when he's going at it, all the portraits are too, and he, calls out directions to them?
Oh, they definitely are, giving him advice as he...
Oh my god, they are.
And, suggestions. Oh, no. That a different angle would be more flattering.
Yeah. Yeah, and then a few of them are just talking about being like, yeah, you're so big, go for it!
I feel like they're just posing, so whoever he's with is getting him from all angles at all times.
Oh, there you go.
See it.
Yeah. Oh man, Lockhart's sex life. What a shame we didn't get to it with Eric Skull on our Lockhart episode. I think Eric would have really enjoyed that aspect of the discussion.
Yeah.
Okay, my question about this quote is, first of all, what is it overexcited from? It's not spells, because he's done, 2 spells all day. So I think his wand could only be a little overexcited from, being whipped around by Snape. That was always the implication I got.
You're right, because Snape is there.
Yeah.
Yep, and he he drops it too quickly,
I'd rather be from Snape than Harry.
Well, and staying on the Chamber of Secrets beat, the one I loved is Ron was having trouble with his wand again. And, this never happens, he swears.
Except for all year.
That is so Ron-coded. That is like exactly Ron in any, that is so.
Oh, yeah.
His line, and that totally has happened to him.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Poor guy.
So this is jumping ahead to Order of the Phoenix, but there's a lot of, in the Dudley Demented chapter and right after it, there is a lot of innuendos. So one of my favorites is Dudley saying, "Think you're a big man carrying that thing, don't you?" "What thing?" That thing you're hiding." Harry grinned again.
It's the grin.
The grinning!
Not as stupid as you look, are you, Dud? But I suppose if you were, you wouldn't be able to walk and talk at the same time. Harry pulled out his wand. He saw Dudley look sideways at him. And I 100% believe that Harry grinning in that moment, like, he is reading the innuendo in it. Like, he is just like, wow, this guy, like, can't even say the word wand. And so he's just like, that thing you're hiding. You think you're such a big man.
Yeah.
So true.
Well, and we'll talk about this later, but it's fun tracking how the innuendo becomes, like, you know, it goes from being for the reader to being for the characters and the reader as the series progresses and they get older.
Yeah. That's so true. I don't know how they make it through the first, like, year or so. I'm just thinking of all these, like, 11-year-old boys, or maybe 12-year-old would be when it peaks, but just, like, all of the behind-the-scenes jokes they're making with their wands. I cannot imagine.
Oh, 100%. Like, you know that the teachers just, like, will start twitching. Like, the next time there's a penis joke, they're like, "I've been teaching for 39 years. And every day for those 39 years, I have heard a dick joke about wands."
Yeah. It reminds me of, like, for me in middle school, it was like, you know, we would play a lot of dodgeball. And, like, anytime anyone said, like, ball or balls, like, all the boys would start giggling. And so you just, like, had to navigate your life of, like, playing games that involved balls without using those words. And then just imagining all of these teachers being like, okay, how do we teach our students how to use their wands properly without using the word wand or saying anything too suggestive?
It's like trying to be a middle school band teacher.
Oh my god.
As someone who was in middle school band, I can assure you there is very little said in that classroom that is not an innuendo.
Yeah. Well, and if you have not experienced this, have you guys been to a wand making workshop?
No,
not really.
All right.
I mean, I've made some wands, but not a workshop yet.
No. So making wands in a group is the most fun you could possibly have because it's pretty much this podcast. It is 2 straight hours of dick jokes. Like, it's the best time. Like, we had a wand making workshop with our meetup I think last summer, and oh my god, it was a blast. Like, and we did it at a restaurant, and, like, I was so sorry because we were just, like, laughing uproariously for, like, the whole time. So, highly recommend, like, at your next convention or whatever, you seek out a wand making class.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. But anyway, so after Dudley's looked sideways at Harry's wand, and after, you know, Harry thought of something happy and had something big and white burst out of his wand, how do the Dursleys react?
"What did he do to you, did he?" Aunt Petunia said in a quavering voice, now sponging sick from the front of Dudley's leather jacket. Was it you know what, darling? Did he use his thing? Thing? I mean, she's just asking for, yeah.
And also the you know what, it makes it sound very, like, it's very innuendo. It's like she is using like, she is intentionally not using the words that would express what she actually means, which allows it to be read in all sorts of ways.
Yeah. See, I always thought that this line was Aunt Petunia being such a square that she actually doesn't think of the innuendo.
Yeah, I don't think she does.
No.
I don't think she does. Yeah.
Like, there are a few characters in the series who are humorless enough that they wouldn't put that together, because almost everyone in the series actually does have a very good sense of humor, because Joe Rowling does.
Yeah.
But yeah, Aunt Petunia 100% like goes completely over her head.
Totally. Okay, I'm going to take us on a slight tangent that is less wand related, but in this scene, I just want us to take a moment to appreciate that Dudley's nickname is Big D. And I absolutely love Harry's reaction to it. He says, "Cool name," said Harry, grinning and falling into step beside his cousin, "but you'll always be Ickle Diddykins to me. What about Popkin and Dinky Diddydums? Can I use them?" That's in a later part. But all of those nicknames, like Ickle and Popkin and Dinky, in British English, those all mean like small and like cute and little. And I think Harry's being very intentional, being like, oh, like, you know, you're calling yourself Big D to all your friends, but like, I know that you're actually Ickle Diddykins. Like, that's how I see it.
Yeah.
Dinky's probably the most insulting of those. Describing him as Dinky. I just think
Yeah, Dinky just is worse.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
No, that whole exchange, that was like, oh yeah, these boys are 15. Oh, and it shows.
Totally. Oh my god.
Because, correct me if I'm wrong, we don't really hear them, like, talked one-on-one or banter since Chamber of Secrets, right?
Dudley and Harry?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Not really, no.
I mean, there's a little bit in Prisoner, but that's when it's mostly Marge, and Dudley's just kind of watching because he loves to see Harry getting
Yeah, it really...
Yes, they're not like
insulted.
Alone.
Yeah, so we don't really have any one-on-one... Yeah, I can't think of any, I mean, really too much. Even in Chamber, I don't know that there's much. This is probably like the longest they're in each other's company one-on-one.
Well, in
Since
Chamber...
the snake?
In Chamber, they have the one where Dudley's, like, making fun of Harry. He's like, oh, like, I know what today is. Your friends aren't writing to you. Like, all of that. Mm-hmm. And that's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because, like, they didn't really have, you know, the penis jokes, in Chamber. And I'm wondering if, like, in Joe Rowling's world, the sophomoric humor, it comes a little later. Because, yeah, like, when people are, like, 11, 12, 13, we don't really get as much of this. And it's really once they're, like, 14 or 15 that, like, you know, the penis jokes come fast and furious, if you will.
Yeah. And that's mainly the publishing industry that, like, books made for middle schoolers are actually not really allowed to have that much of those things to be published. Like, that is actually less common, even though most middle schoolers do have all of those jokes. Like, it is actually pretty strict about, like, cursing in books for middle school and, like, sexual references. Like, you're just not as likely to be published if you have those. So I think it's partly the publishing rather than a representation of how she believes people of that age actually act.
Yeah.
Yeah, when would we say it peaks? Like, what age? And then is that the same age in the series?
I would imagine that it peaks around 15 or 16 in my experience. And I think in the series, it absolutely peaked in Deathly Hallows. So when they were 17. So yeah, I'd say they're maybe like a year or two behind.
Yeah. But
again, that's publishing realities.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I think the sort of silly, I think there are plenty of, like, silly, like, for real middle schoolers, plenty of, like, silly, like, dick jokes and ball jokes or whatever. And we don't see any of those for them when they're like 11, 12, 13. And that's really because of the publishing. I think that's not really considered appropriate to publish for kids of that age.
Yeah.
Which is dumb.
Good.
But like,
yeah.
I think it's partly, parents complain,
Yeah. Well, because I imagine it peaks, right? Just before the kids actually start having sex. Like sort of when you're old enough to like know about it all and hear about it all, but like you don't have any experience. So it's still all like this sort of abstract, silly, giggly thing for you. And then once, you actually start having sex, which I mean, I imagine is like 16, 17, 18, then like it's demystified a bit, and isn't quite as hilarious.
Yeah.
Still hilarious though, because I mean like, this is still funny for us.
I mean,
we would not be here if it wasn't hilarious.
Which actually, I think the next quote you have is from Deathly Hallows. Right?
Yeah, no, it is. It's Hermione. I think we kind of covered it at the top of the episode because the author has similarly expressed this sentiment where like wands are only as powerful as the wizards who use them. And like some wizards like to boast that theirs are bigger and better than other people's. This is Hermione speaking, the words of wisdom that, we all know to be true. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a funny
well,
line.
And this is very much a deliberate innuendo by Hermione. Like,
I disagree. I think that it's definitely a deliberate innuendo by Rowling. I don't think it's a deliberate innuendo for Hermione.
The layers.
She's basically saying it's the motion of the ocean.
Wait, I don't think I got that reference. What?
It's like, it's not how big it is. It's how you use it. It's the motion of the ocean.
Yes. Okay. I've never
Not
heard
the
that before.
size
Oh my
of
God.
the wave.
Well, if it were Hermione, is she like criticizing Ron in this instance? Like,
well, because in Deathly Hallows, Hermione has a bit of a chip on her shoulder about sort of, her role as the woman in the trio. And she's like, oh, I'm expected to cook because of this. And I think part of that is she would very much have a dismissive thing about like being like, oh yeah, wizards are always boasting about theirs is bigger and better. I think that's a pointed remark from Hermione.
I guess I disagree because I think given her age and personality and to a certain level experience, like I would think that she would probably be embarrassed to make that kind of reference in front of two guys, especially one of whom she has a crush on. Like I just think that when I was like in middle school and high school, like as a girl, like I felt like I am going to do my absolute best not to say anything that could be read as an innuendo by a guy, you know?
We had a completely different experience.
Yeah, my experience has also been very different to that.
I think that for Hermione, from what I see of Hermione's personality, I think that she would be more like me. That's just my feeling. Because Hermione's like not a flirt, you know? Hermione is not a flirt. She really isn't.
I don't think that that's what she's doing here at all. I think, because I would agree, I think it's intentional. I think that it has just listened to, because I believe that this is in the discussion about the Elder Wand, and Ron is like, man, how awesome would it be? And because she's saying that she doesn't think that the Elder Wand is real, that it's just, oh, these guys have been going around saying that their wand is the best, and therefore, like, and it's probably not actually the Elder Wand, they just, like, think that it's really good. And Ron is very into the idea of the Elder Wand and having a wand that is better and more powerful than anything else. And so I think that she, having been cooped up with two boys for the majority of the last 7 years of her life, is basically just, like, having a put down on him and just being like,
it's funny because
it doesn't matter.
I actually think I actually completely agree that she is putting down this male tendency to be like competing and be like, well, I'm better than you, and I just don't think she actually realized that it was sexual. I think that she was just like, oh, guys are like this. They're always like, you know, claiming that they're better than each other and like for dumb reasons. I just like what Irvin was saying of like people who have senses of humors and people who have less of a sense of humor. Hermione has less of a sense of humor. Like, I don't think that this was intentional, to be honest.
No, but she does have a sense of humor, or like rather a sense of irony. Like, again, she wouldn't say this as like a fun flirty thing. Like, I agree with you that she would never like flirt with a guy by talking about the size of his wand or anything. But I think because this is meant very much as a put down of boys being boys, I think she really wants that extra layer of meaning there.
I could see Hermione like 5 years after this, or even less than that, even a few years after this, doing that. I guess I don't see it that way, but it's possible. It's certainly possible. I just see her more being like, yeah, I just don't see her even noticing. She seems like the kind of person who would commonly make innuendo without even realizing it, because she is a very serious kind of person.
I mean, I'll grant you that she would seem like the type, but after 7 years being best friends with Harry and Ron, I think she would learn to pick up on it.
I think that's possible.
Ron's definitely reading it, whether or not she means to put it down.
I 100% agree. I think Ron definitely is laughing at this, even if in his own head. But I definitely think Ron picked up on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I do want to say, though,
Speaking of Ron.
Yes, speaking of Ron. So speaking of Ron, we've been talking about how, like, wands are kind of perhaps used kind of like we say, like, oh, if they have big shoes, if they have big feet, etc. What does that mean? And it is mentioned more than once that Ron has big feet. So I wonder what that means.
Yeah.
Take that as you will.
Yeah.
And we shall also.
Yeah. I love that because it's always in like a comedic context.
Yes.
You know, like it'd be one thing if it was like Hermione being like, oh my, he has really big feet. But it's always like Draco being like, well, yeah, with feet that size, hard not to trip. So it's always done as like a put down of Ron being like, oh, he's gangly. Oh, he's awkward.
And like, it's funny because Hermione makes fun of him about it once.
Wait, does she really?
Yeah, okay, now I need to find the quote, but Hermione is like, sounds like your trainers are too small, Wan.
Oh.
Because Ron is saying, like, I felt like a tingling in my feet. And now I need to find the quote because
it's when they're doing apparition.
It's 100% when they're doing apparition. Give me a moment and I'll find it.
Yeah. I mean, I will vouch that one is not intentional by Hermione.
Definitely not. I find it hilarious, but it's not intentional.
Because that would be like a backhanded compliment.
Yeah.
Right.
And she meant it as like, no. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, like, all I can think of is Avenue Q, when Lucy the Slut is like, well, I need more than some well-hung guy who's not going anywhere and lives off his mom and dad's money. And Princeton's like, there's a compliment in there somewhere.
Okay. Ron says, I think I felt something the last time I tried, a kind of tingling in my feet. Sorry. I expect your trainers are too small, Wan, said a voice behind them, and Hermione stalked past, smirking. And it's like not even a particularly good put down, but it's a lot funnier if you think that she's like secretly complimenting him.
Yeah. But yeah, Sophia, what other quotes do you have for us about wands?
So There is the classic one of Mad Eye Moody telling Harry not to put his wand in his back pocket because he might lose a buttock that way. I'm like, oh, the wand in the back pocket. That might hurt your buttock. Definitely.
Yeah, don't put it anywhere near there, according to Moody.
Exactly. And
Constant
Tonks is
vigilance.
like, how did you... Yeah, exactly. Tonks is like, oh, like, who do you know who's lost a buttock? And he's like, never you mind.
Oh, and it
I
totally
don't want
tracks
to talk
that
about that experience.
It totally tracks that it's Moody that's, like, paranoid about that.
Yeah.
Now I think about more about it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Also, we have, going back to the golden substances shooting out of Harry's wand when he is fighting against Voldemort. It's described as his wand acted of its own accord. And Harry says, it wasn't me. It was my wand. My wand acted of its own accord. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Sometimes you can't control it. Sometimes it does stuff.
It's got a mind of its own.
Yeah, sometimes stuff just comes out and, what do you do about it? I'm only yanking your wand. I'm Fred, really. Which is such a funny expression.
So I hear that, but also he says it to his mother. So, like, I never read that as innuendo.
No, this is not to his mother. This is to Moody.
Oh, it's the Seven Potters.
It's the Seven Potters, yes.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's different.
He might also say it to his mother at some point, but I found this in the Seven Potters one. So I think to Moody, he would 100% say it.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Hold on,
Also,
let me...
like, even if it's just like, this is a common wizarding expression, that is hilarious.
As an expression, yes.
I
it's
agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We also have, during the Seven Potters chase scene, Voldemort being like, your wand, Selwyn, give me your wand! And it just sounds like...
It's such urgency.
Such urgency. And we'll talk about this later, but I see Voldemort as like a bit of a dominatrix with his Death Eaters, who... So, yeah.
Speaking of Death Eaters, I wanted to mention this before we move past wands, but at least in the movies, Bellatrix's wand is curved. I believe it's the only one that we see with a curve, which I thought was an interesting choice.
It's because she's as twisted as her wand.
Yeah. So that's a fun surprise when you meet her and encounter her for whatever you're getting into.
All right. I have a story.
Oh, yay.
So, I spent the last couple weeks, hanging out in the Poconos, where, I befriended some boys. I mean, like in their early 20s or whatever. And I always grew up having female friends, which my family always took as like, a great tragedy that I'm missing out. And so these boys talk about pooping all the time. Like, and at one point, I was walking with the three of them, and I was like, I gotta say, like, the amount of chatter about pooping that I'm subjected to, like, is this that, like, strong, deep male friendship my family keeps nattering on about? And one of them is like, oh yeah, this is absolutely it. Like, I'm sure we've all had the moment where you, like, go to, like, your close guy friend and you're like, is yours bent or curved? And I was like, wow. So that's the deep male friendship I'm missing out on, is those conversations, apparently.
And do you feel like you are lacking in your life without them?
Not so much.
I don't feel particularly deprived in this instance.
So are those people with curved wands treated, would you say, better or differently in any way? I guess you couldn't say if this was your first.
I don't think I could say.
Yeah. I wonder.
I mean, feel like that would be more a question for their partners or for the women of like, would you treat one differently if it were curved or bent?
I mean, that's also a valid question, but I feel like, like in groups of guys, like you can tell the way they treat like each other, or they'll like suck up to one of them, over the others, or just sort of like laugh too hard at their jokes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I feel like you're
sympathy.
I feel like you're assuming much more familiarity with other people's junk in groups of guys than is perhaps warranted.
I don't know my temperature on it versus everyone else's, but maybe I'm reading too much into it.
I mean,
it makes me think of in New Girl when Jess tries to get Schmidt and Nick to get along by telling the other one that they each have penis problems. And so, like, because they're working on a project together, and so then they start capitulating, being like, oh no, what do you think that we should do? You're really in charge here. No, I think that you should really be in charge here because you really know what's going on. They start being so much nicer to each other because they think that the other one has got some sort of problem.
Wait, so they're being nice to each other as a like, I feel bad for you for having a penis problem. Okay.
Exactly.
That's really funny.
Yeah,
wow.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think that's a good overview of wands. And of course, we could just keep going. But, there's so many more innuendos in the series. There are so many different phallic symbols, in the series. So I think we now need to shift our attention to brooms.
Yes.
And I'll just say, having been on a Quidditch team for 3.5 years, between the brooms and the balls, it's nonstop. And in the series, I mean, they are always just mounting them, riding them, gripping them. So, again, this won't be comprehensive, but I definitely did pick a few choice quotes about brooms in the series. So,
do tell.
Well, we begin with Sorcerer's Stone, where his broom was vibrating so hard it was almost impossible for him to hang on much longer.
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
So good.
He must have been really close to catching the snitch at that point.
Yeah.
He was, in fact.
Yeah, I don't doubt
In his mouth. Yeah, in his mouth.
Well, and you know that Harry's broom is always impressive, because there's a great line where this is talk about Oliver Wood. He gave Harry's broom a look of fervent admiration.
I mean, first of all, what a name.
Yes, also Oliver Wood. If we're talking about innuendos, just Oliver Wood.
All of her wood. Just saying.
Yeah. But, again, that strong, deep male friendship, I feel like, between Oliver and Harry, the broom admiration.
Yeah.
And we know Ron's into it, because in Prisoner of Azkaban we get the line, Ron, an expression of ecstasy on his face, mounted the broom.
Whoa.
Oh my god.
Was this Harry's broom? This was
Yes,
Ron's.
it's when he's riding the firebolt.
I love.
An expression of ecstasy on his face mounted the broom. Oh my god.
Like, that is straight out of a smutty fanfic.
It seriously is.
Honestly, if we ever do a sequel to this episode, we should just do is it from the books or is it from a fanfic?
Oh, that would be good.
So
that would be so
funny.
hard.
I bet it would be.
We're not starting now.
No. So honestly, the firebolt was just the gift that kept on giving, because later on, go, Harry urged his broom.
Sometimes you need a pep talk. It's
Exactly. Just when you're hyped. And here we just have a beautiful confluence of brooms and balls in the line, Harry pulled his broom upward, holding the struggling ball in his hand.
Yeah, he pulled it upward.
And then just a last one that I wanted to leave with is, Harry had heard Fred and George Weasley complain about the school brooms, saying that some of them started to vibrate if you flew too high. And I'm just saying, one man's complaint is another's good time.
Seriously, I feel like most of the women are like, could I have one of those school brooms, please?
Yeah. You know that, like, Alicia Spinnet and Katie Bell are like, no, we'll keep using the school brooms. We don't have the money. You know, no one's buying us Nimbus 2001, so we're gonna save up for a while.
Yeah.
No,
don't mind if we just, like, fly really high over all the grounds for, a little while. Don't look for us.
I can see them. I don't think they would. Specifically because it would be too much of a distraction. And they're serious about their Quidditch.
Touche. That's for, after practice. If, they had a bad practice, they need to blow off some steam. I'm just going to go fly on the school broom to really make sure that I'm good on any broom I ride.
And also, the school brooms, anyone can use them, right? So, like, you don't have to be a serious Quidditch player. You could just be like, yeah, I'm just gonna go on a flight, don't mind me.
But speaking of anybody can go on any of the brooms, especially considering that bike is like slang for someone who gets around, and brooms would be like is? Comparable.
I've never heard that before.
I've never heard that once.
They're like the town bike and things like that. Oh. It's actually the fun fact, the very first time that I ever heard or read that specific slang term was in a fanfic, and it was talking about Ginny. So there you go.
Leah, have you ever heard this before?
What I thought of first was that song by Ariana Grande, where she's on the bike and she says like dick bicycle at one point.
Yeah, I know that song. Yeah,
but I don't think that's the same use. But I get that, like, the bike. It's I guess I get it. But no, I
get it. I've never heard that. Yeah. Sierra, this might be just like Montana slang.
Oh my god,
it hasn't made its way to New York.
I did not grow up in Montana, so.
She read it in a fan fiction, so whoever wrote that fan fiction, maybe it's slang to their region.
And isn't from New York City, that's for sure.
I don't think so, but anyway, I would also assume that, like, potentially anybody who has experienced that slang before, but in the wizarding world would call them brooms instead of bikes.
That's
like
funny.
The school broom. Dun, dun, dun. I'm sure I've read at least one fan fiction where that is the case, and they are called the school broom because of all the things we just said.
That's really funny.
I have one last note on brooms. Maybe last note, but do you watch Call Her Daddy?
No.
Oh goodness.
I don't know if we're allowed to admit that we are, even if we are. What is it?
No, oh my god! No, it's a podcast. It's a podcast. It's kosher. It's on YouTube. It's fine. But it did start as like a very sort of like forward face. Like she's like a young girl speaking about sex all the time, and like she coined this term, the Gluck Gluck 9000. It's like a very specific maneuver to like a way to give head, and I just had to put it in there because it sounded so similar to the Nimbus 2000 and Nimbus 2001, and I don't know, something about it just I felt it needed to be said. But since you guys haven't watched, I don't know, you can go watch Call Her Daddy. It's fun.
Well, sure. Each model of broomsticks just keeps on getting better, so mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, well, moving from brooms to another phallic instrument, because, again, really wealth of options. Swords. There's not as much, because there aren't as many swords in the series, but I did get this one quote from Deathly Hallows of, "The goblin stroked the sword, and his black eyes roved from Harry to Hermione to Ron, and then back again."
It almost seems like he's deciding which one of them he wants.
Oh, you know goblins are into that weird. They're into like kinky,
yeah.
like yeah. Like, you're scared. But that's part of it.
Oh, yeah, no, the goblins would be into some dark
I also have a couple sword ones. So Sir Cadogan, or I don't know how do you guys pronounce his name? Because I
say
know.
Cadogan.
Cadogan. Okay, Sir Cadogan. I'll go with that one. So there's when they first meet him, they watched in astonishment as the little knight tugged his sword out of its scabbard and began brandishing it violently, hopping up and down in rage. But the sword was too long for him. A particularly wild swing made him overbalance, and he landed face down in the grass.
You know, I would also watch that in astonishment, to be fair.
Oh my god, so much in there. I feel like it has to be intentional, maybe not. But, you know, we were talking about proportionality in this case. His sword is a little too long for such a small dude. Also, I mean, Sir Cadogan is a dick swinger if I ever saw one, so honestly, makes total sense in this scene. Also, right before this quote, Harry notices the grass stains on his metal knees and assumes that he just fell off his horse. And I'm like, well, that's not the only way he could have gotten grass.
Oh, I love that.
Also, I just realized that, like, okay, he fell off his horse. Like, I don't know, people talk about, like, riding a horse, like, getting back in the saddle. You know?
Oh, my God. A bike saddle. You know, if you put on the lens of a 15-year-old boy, this whole series is just one big innuendo. That's hilarious. I never noticed
I mean, yes, which is why we're getting a 2.5-hour podcast out of it. But that's amazing.
Yeah, seriously. And then the final one is when Dumbledore says, "Impaled upon your own sword, Gilderoy." And yeah, I mean, Lockhart really did f*** himself over in that in that scene. So yeah, he was.
He really, really was.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Well, and you know, I was just reading Chamber of Secrets with Lockhart and their restricted section note and everything. And so we just need to put this out there that as the song parody goes, the restricted section is porn. Grab your dick and swish and flick for porn.
Oh my god. But like, with the whole like getting permission from your teacher, like,
yeah,
that part makes it really weird.
Yeah, now it's awkward.
Now it's real awkward.
Well, because I feel like getting permission from a teacher is like supposed to be like a really weird, rare thing of the like, really, why would you want that? So again, if it's porn, it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, if you're having like a sexy like teacher-student fantasy type thing, then it makes a lot of sense. Oh
well, because
God.
What is it Hermione says? It's like, you know, this would really help me understand what you say in your book, Wanderings with Werewolves. And I was like, oh, what kind of stuff Lockhart's writing in his books, but checks out.
And now Madam Pince, I'm seeing her in a whole new light. What's she doing back there? Is Filch in there too?
In that case, then maybe Harry is not the lamest person in the world for using his invisibility cloak to sneak into the library, the restricted section of the library. Maybe a lot of students do that.
Oh, I imagine so. Yeah, like, you know, the older students are like checking out books from the restricted section and like bring them around the common room being like, oh my god, have you seen this?
And the photos are moving.
And the photos are moving! Wait, okay, so that's actually a great transition to talking about Percy Weasley.
Okay.
Because Percy Weasley in Chamber of Secrets is non-stop innuendo. Because basically, he and Penelope Clearwater are doing the wizard equivalent of sexting. Like, because again, the pictures move.
Oh, I never thought of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, you know,
sense.
like, Ron can't borrow Percy's owl, and, you know, Percy's been acting very oddly this summer, said George, frowning, and he has been sending a lot of letters and spending a load of time shut up in his room. I mean, there's only so many times you can polish a prefect badge. Now, first of all, the prefect badge is not the only thing he's polishing up in that room after he writes to Penelope. And second of all, this being George Weasley, and George Weasley being a 14-year-old boy, there is zero chance he did not waggle his eyebrows when he said that sentence.
So we're imagining
That is
just
very accurate.
very, like, thorough sending. It's like a dick pic from Percy, but he's thinking about a lot of other things because it's moving.
Yes.
He's thinking about other things? Or he's doing other things?
Maybe
like,
there are I don't know. I feel like on the guy's end of sending photos, like, there's a lot less involved. On the girl's end, it's a whole show. You know what I mean?
But that's only if the guy isn't putting in the effort. Like, I'm sorry, you want some good lighting, you want, like, good framing, good composition in the photo.
I would hope.
Like,
Percy
if you're not being lazy about it, like, you should put in the work.
Mm-hmm. Well, it seems like he is. He's, like, you...
Oh, Percy would.
Said, yeah. Load of time shut up in his room.
But I think that, like, since the pictures, like, the Percy in that picture, like, has the same sorts of agenda as the Percy in real life. So, like, he's just taking a dick pic, basically. But because his picture version of himself can do whatever, he can just send that to Penelope and, like, whatever, like, he might do other things in that, his picture version. That doesn't mean that he has to do it in order for it to show in the picture, right?
I mean,
I see what you're saying.
Well, the picture would be him.
It's not the same as, like, taking a video. It's like taking a picture of something stationary, like you do for all pictures.
No, but like, you would need whatever he's, like, doing to be, like, sorry, you need the setting in the photo. Like, you know, if he's, like, you know, on a bed or, like, has a prop or, like, whatever, that all needs to be in the photo, I think.
Yes, that makes sense.
Like,
but he doesn't
he
have
needs
to actually
like, be naked to begin with.
He does not have to, act out any of the things that he would want her to see. He would just need the setting to be right.
Yeah.
Wait,
oh my god, guys, he absolutely took a photo of himself naked with his 12 OWLs.
Oh my god, yes.
Or like I have zero doubt.
On them, yeah.
Yes.
Wearing nothing but his prefect badge, like, you know, yeah.
Yes.
Walk me through this, though, because Penelope gets a dick pic, and she does it. You know how, like, in the portraits at Hogwarts, like, you could, like, kind of talk to them. They'll, like, respond to your whatever's happening. Is she, like...
I don't think the wizarding photographs are the same.
Yeah,
okay.
So
the
photos are more like
talk.
a GIF. Yeah, photos are just a GIF, basically.
Right. No, you're so right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we don't got to tell you were on the portraits episode.
Yeah, so, okay. Moving on.
Yeah.
Anyway. Don't need to think that much about Percy's sex life, to be honest.
Oh, well, no, I think we should keep talking about Percy's sex life.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, not that part of his sex life.
Because once summer vacation is over and he and Penelope are reunited, they're meeting in secret all over the castle, and, I mean, as Percy tells it, well, if you must know, Ginny, walked in on me the other day when I was, well, never mind. The point is, she spotted me doing something, and I, asked her not to mention it to anybody, and I must say, I did think she'd keep her word. It's nothing really, I just rather... And Harry had never seen Percy look so uncomfortable. Now, I personally think that Ginny is a good sister and doesn't spill all the beans, because she says at the end of the school year, he's been meeting her all over the school in secret. I walked in on them kissing in an empty classroom one day. And I'm just saying, they were doing slightly more than kissing.
And Ginny's 11. Did she have the words she needed to describe accurately what was happening?
Also, no wonder Ginny is ill and stressed all year. It's nothing to do with the Chamber of Secrets. She walked in on Percy having sex. It's enough to make anyone sick.
Oh my god.
I think Chamber of Secrets finally makes sense to me as a book.
She really went through it.
She really did. She had a rough year.
Oof. Poor girl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, you don't want to see any of your older brothers doing that, but, like, especially Percy.
Ugh.
Yeah, that would be rough. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that was part of, hopefully the rest of it, because of all the being possessed and whatnot, maybe that memory was removed.
Yes. Yeah,
She does lose time, so...
I'm just picturing her, like, going back to the diary after seeing that, and she's like, Tom, just, like, how can I, like, not be in my own mind right now? I want to not be in my own mind and not think of this anymore. And he's like, oh.
Got you, fam.
Or if not, hopefully since then she's, taken a couple trips to the restricted section and taken a few other notes, because I would hate for her only notes to be from that.
I mean, she clearly figures it out by her, like, 5th year. I'm just saying.
Surely, yeah. But at whose expense?
Yes, but at what cost? All right. We can move on from Percy. And we can move on to Patronuses. And
oh, yes.
So, my favorite pickup line, as relates to Harry Potter, is... When I think of you, something big and white erupts from my wand.
Oh my god.
Nice.
And I'm just saying, I was on a cruise ship once, and there was a game show, and, like, the bonus round was come up with your favorite pickup line. And so we all write down our favorite pickup line and submit it, and I wrote that down and I put in parentheses, like, Harry Potter related. And so the, host of the game show is reading them out, and she opens mine, she's like, oh, this one says it's Harry Potter related. When I think of you, oh, no. And wouldn't read that aloud.
Wow, was this, like, supposed to be family friendly and you just put that in there?
I mean, I think it's supposed to be like a PG-13.
Okay, that was not PG-13.
No. But, yeah, Patronuses, I mean, like, when you think of happy things, like, it's right there. And
yeah.
This hits a lot more if you've watched Buffy. And if you know the, like, what happens when perfect happiness, and Angel loses his soul, I was like, yeah. The innuendo is much more potent, if you're a Buffy fan. If you know, you know.
Also, it's like, it's not just happy things, it's like happy memories too. So it's like, wonder who people are thinking about when they need to make a Patronus.
Well, okay, hear me out. When Harry is teaching the Patronus to the DA, it is a room of 28 people, almost all of whom are between 15 and 18. And I'm guessing the percentage whose happy thoughts were less than innocent was considerable.
Oh my god.
For sure.
And if we want the innuendos to compound on themselves, the very first time that Harry gets silver stuff to shoot out of his wand, he's thinking of his first broom ride.
Perfect.
It all ties together.
God.
What'd you say?
I think I just said, oh my god.
Indeed.
Do we think that the animal has anything to do with anything, or is it just
Please
just
don't bring the animals into
Let's not.
Okay,
I'm just gonna say no.
Far. Okay.
No.
No, we're not here to ship a Dobby with a giant squid for another day.
Except in Aberforth's case. That's the only case I'll let you...
Well, because that's explicitly in the text, pretty much.
Well, and technically, terriers chase otters, so...
True.
That's very PG, though. That's so cute.
It's still cute in PG, but it could be more. Also, run a dog. Okay,
I like that. Yeah. Should we move from spirit guardians to just spirits and talk about the inimitable, the iconic Moaning Myrtle?
Oh, God.
As one of my favorite Wizard Rock songs goes, they call me Moaning Myrtle for a reason.
God. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Which, can I just say, so I'm reading The Russian Chamber of Secrets right now, and they turned her into Melancholy Myrtle in Russian, and I was like, nope. Just like, you lost the essence of the character.
You missed it. Yeah. Totally missed it. Also, what a humble brag. Wait, why are you reading them in Russian? That's crazy.
I mean, Russian's my first language, so.
Oh my god, I had no idea. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, and so I've never read them in Russian before, and I'm trying to, like, you know, become better at reading Russian, because I'm really slow at it. So I was like, well, like, here, like, you know, I know the story, so, like, I can actually, like, go through it, like, look up words I don't know and such, and still, like, figure out what's happening.
What's a wand in Russian? 'Cause I know French is baguette, which...
It's just, like, magic stick. Волшебная палочка.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. No, I actually, I wrote an essay for the lexicon, about sort of key differences between the English and Russian Sorcerer's Stone. 'Cause, like, you know, it's a fairly close translation, but, like, sometimes they, like, miss something or, like, add a little bit of extra meaning. And, you know, I find it fascinating to, like, pick out these, like, tiny, like, you know, word level changes and how they change the text.
Does the Uranus joke translate?
That's Prisoner of Azkaban. I haven't got there yet.
Okay, we'll be waiting for your review.
Yeah.
TBD.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was Goblet
I will
of
say
Fire,
that
but maybe
when Ron is burping up slugs, it's described in, like, vivid detail. And I was like, I feel like we did not need an elaboration on this.
Probably not.
Or did you?
Ron likes it messy.
Okay, well, you know what? We don't kink shame around here.
I wasn't
Speaking
shaming.
of, back to Moaning Myrtle.
Back to Moaning Myrtle. So she just openly spies on the prefects taking baths. Like, she just says that straight up.
Such a problem.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta say, like, being a hormonal 16-year-old for all eternity, like, that's rough.
Yeah. To be honest, like, I don't even blame her. Like, you know, she's just a ghost. Like, like, I don't know. She gets to go everywhere. I don't know. But it's weird.
Yeah.
The movie's really added an extra layer to this.
Yeah.
By making her, like, a cougar, essentially.
So,
Yeah.
unnecessarily.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and Harry, who is appalled, because, like, you know, he sort of, you know, he's learning modesty and all that. He's just like, I'm not wearing any clothes. And Myrtle is like, oh, well, I closed my eyes when you started undressing. And I'm sorry, not a single solitary person in this universe believes that.
No, especially not
way.
with Harry. Are you serious? I mean, 2 years ago, she'd already said that she wanted to spend the rest of eternity with Harry in her toilet if he died.
Yes.
So I think she'd want to know what she was getting.
Well, and saying that, you know, in the scene, Harry is naked and it says Myrtle was enjoying bossing him around. And I was like, I bet she was. Again, Myrtle's gonna be into some kinky
Oh, for sure. She's had years to marinate on that. That's...
Yeah. And I'm sorry, but the funniest one is she says that Cedric was working out the clue, and he took, quote, ages and ages, nearly all the bubbles had gone.
And in the movie, it's even funnier.
Yes.
Oh, gosh. All the bubbles had gone.
No, I mean, Shirley Henderson is amazing in that role.
so good. Oh my god.
Yeah. But I feel like this innuendo with Moaning Myrtle is really sort of the first one that's just, like, very, like, deliberate, like, in your face. Right? Like, this isn't a, like, blink and you miss it one. This is just like, no. Like, this is dirty jokes. Like, we're straight up doing that.
Yeah.
Isn't it different in... I'm pretty sure the ages and ages the bubbles had gone is just a movieism, isn't it? Because isn't it specifically, she says, oh, it took him for ages, and that's with her, like...
No, that's in the book.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Wow,
page 464 of Goblet of Fire. Ages and ages, nearly all the bubbles had gone.
I was thinking it took Diggory much longer than that, and that was with her awake too. Just slightly farther down on the page.
Yeah.
Giggling and showing off and flashing her fins. I'm just saying, this mermaid too. Come on. It took Diggory longer with a mermaid flashing her fins.
Well,
giggling,
maybe Diggory was distracted by the flashing fins and wasn't thinking about the clue. I mean,
Yeah.
Myrtle will be able to tell us because all the bubbles had gone.
I mean, she has an expression of Myrtle has an expression of great dislike on her face when she's talking about the mermaid, so I would not be surprised.
Well, because she's jealous.
Super jealous.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a missed opportunity for Myrtle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're both stuck there.
Yeah, you think she and the Myrtle should just tag team the prefix?
I mean, why not? Yeah, wing woman. Or more.
You know what? I've read weirder thruples.
On the moaning theme, since we're talking about moaning Myrtle, I'm sure there are other things like this in the series, but I did notice that one of Hermione's dialogue tags is moan. And I wondered if that was intentional or not, but I had a series of examples of Hermione moaning, specifically to Harry. And maybe I'm the only one reading into that sexually. I feel like there are other ones, I think she's shrieked a few times. But in Order of the Phoenix, Hermione gave a little moan in his ear. In Prisoner of Azkaban, quick she moaned, dashing to untie Buckbeak.
Sorry. Okay.
I don't want to think about it, Hermione moaned. Also Prisoner, what else? It's the dark mark, Harry, Hermione moaned. I like Hermione stifled a little moan behind her hand in Deathly Hallows, which I think we pointed out Deathly Hallows gets a little bit more into it. And then Harry, no, moaned Hermione in Half-Blood Prince. And I just thought, they all seem to be, also, they're all towards Harry. I mean, I know we are Harry, but never towards Ron.
Interesting.
Anyway.
Yeah, some of those are really funny.
So they're very funny out of context, and I hear you. I don't think this was deliberate.
No, I don't think so either, but out of context, they're hilarious.
Just because all of these are in, very intense, high-stress situations. It's one thing where, they're, bantering in the common room and they're making, innuendos. But, all this is, the action-packed climax where, will they live? Will they die? And I feel
climax,
Joe...
The climax?
That is what I said, yes.
Action-packed climax.
Yeah, that is what I said. And I don't think that Joe would have Hermione moan during her climax.
I think this is. I actually think this is the key tell for exactly how Hermione would behave at her climax. Because clearly this is her response in a high intensity situation.
Oh, so you think she's just getting off on this?
No. I think when she is getting off,
indicative of
she will likely be making a similar noise.
Oh, she's going to be loud as hell in bed, zero doubt.
Okay. What's up, Ron?
Yeah.
Those big shoes,
that the first time she and Ron do it, afterwards Ron is just wow, that was a lot.
I hope he has a little more tact than that, but knowing
it's
Ron,
he definitely doesn't.
I don't know. I feel like with Ron needing all of the assurances, he would be very into loudness.
I agree. I think he'd be very into it.
When do you think?
Speaking of Ron.
Okay.
Speaking of Ron, let's talk about the first person we know that he shared a bed with.
Oh God.
Which is Wormtail.
Do we have to?
We can skip it. It's fine. It's uncomfortable for everybody.
But it's uncomfortable for Ron more than anyone else.
This is facts.
This this is one of those few cases in the earlier books where, like, I think it's very, like, clear and in your face. And, you know, Ron is staring with the utmost revulsion, and he's like, I'll let you sleep in my bed. And it's like, Ron's 14, so he's just, like, replaying so many things in his head right now. Poor guy.
Although he lives in a dorm room with, like, 5 other guys, or, like, 4 other guys. How much do you think he's really doing in his bed? Don't you think he'd find somewhere else to do it?
I mean, they have silencing charms.
He doesn't know it at 13.
They have Engorgio, too.
Oh, God.
But, you know, it's all fair. Ron, I think you guys both, like, Ron is clearly uncomfortable by this. Why wasn't Pettigrew uncomfortable? I mean, what did he
Pettigrew's
see?
a bit distracted at the moment, you know, on account of he's about to be murdered.
Yeah, I don't think that's top on his mind. But anyway, let's move on from this.
Okay. We can do a more fun one. The fever fudge debacle for the Weasley twins.
Oh, no.
I love this part.
Yeah. And again, this is Order of the Phoenix, and this is very blatantly, like, you know, deliberate. So George begins. But you get these massive pus-filled boils too, said George, and we haven't worked out how to get rid of them yet. I can't see any boils, said Ron, staring at the twins. No, well, you wouldn't, said Fred darkly. They're not in a place we generally display to the public. But they make sitting on a broom a right pain in the... And then we have a scene break. They go to Quidditch practice, and afterwards... Fred and George were looking particularly annoyed. Both were bandy-legged and winced with every movement. Harry could hear them complaining in low voices as he toweled his hair dry. I think a few of mine have ruptured, said Fred in a hollow voice. Mine haven't, said George, wincing. They're throbbing like mad. Feel bigger, if anything. Poor guys.
Yep.
Oh, my God.
They really do sacrifice for their craft.
I hope for their sake there wasn't scarring.
I hope so, too. Now, here's my question. When you read this, do you assume that the boils are on their ass or on their balls?
That's a very good question. What, or on their dick?
I was assuming on their butt, yeah.
I always assumed balls.
Oh, okay.
Clearly. We're all in different places.
Yeah. I was going to say, maybe it's only because of the anatomy differences that our minds did not go there first.
Fair enough, yes. Because you want to talk sitting on a broom being uncomfortable, that'll do it.
I'm sure.
I imagine there would be a great lot that would make sitting on a broom very uncomfortable.
Touché.
Seriously, like, they should have, like, little, like, seat cushions. Like, yeah.
Hopefully
I mean,
they do
I
that for
imagine if
kids.
you have boils there, like, no seat cushion will help.
No, I'm just talking in general.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but I imagine that they do have, like, a cushioning charm on them or something.
Sure, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because just, like, I mean, athletes be athletes, but, like, if you have to, like, sit on a, like, narrow broom and Quidditch matches can last for hours, like... I'm sorry, I don't think Quidditch would be as popular as it is.
That's
Yeah,
like their hazing
seriously.
for the first years. They're like, oh, you didn't put a cushion charm on? Oh my god. Don't you know you're supposed to do that? Well, hopefully they do something for the kids. I remember seeing, like, in the films, a lot of them complaining about doing those scenes. Like, it was actually uncomfortable for the actors.
Yeah.
Hopefully they have some new thought put into that for the TV show.
Yeah. Well, I also imagine that they'll be able to do much more with visual effects this time.
Probably,
Yeah. Because, like, I imagine, like, 25 years ago, they were just, like, you know, like, actually filming the kids. And they're like, okay, now go upside down. Now the wind machine. And now they're like, you know, oh, we can, like, you know, make, like, the wind go through your hair digitally. Like, we don't need to actually blast you with a typhoon type thing.
No, there's AI for that. No. Okay.
I'm on the other side. I really hope they don't
Oh,
rely
no.
on.
Same. I think it'll look better. If they don't, yeah. But I think they probably will. We'll see.
All right, so let's talk about Polyjuice Potion. So I think the most blatant, innuendo in the series, is Hermione at the Battle of Seven Potters. "Ooh, you look much tastier than Crab and Goyle, Harry," said Hermione, before catching sight of Ron's raised eyebrows, blushing slightly, and saying, "Oh, you know what I mean."
I love that line.
I love it too, but that surprised me with its directness. Because, that's barely an innuendo. That's just, that's straight up dirty talk.
Yeah. And I like it because, it kind of sets up the, in this book, a big theme is, Ron's jealousy of, thinking that Harry and Hermione have a thing, and, sets it up, right off the bat. It's Hermione says something that makes it sound like she wants to taste Harry, and Ron is Well,
no, it's worse. She makes it sound like she's already tasted Harry.
Not really. She says you look much tastier.
Point being, though, that it helps the plot, which makes it so much better. It's not just a throwaway. It's actually...
So I'd be happy either way. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, we love, innuendos with plot momentum. The best thing. Yeah. And honestly, we could get into Polyjuice, but you know what? We'll save it for another day. If you want to hear more about the sexy implications of Polyjuice Potion, you should have been at our New York City meetup discussing sexy implications of Polyjuice. We had a 2.5-hour discussion about it. It was fantastic. Okay, Ginny. So Ginny, grows past her scarring from what she saw of Percy. And come Half-Blood Prince, we see Ginny's sexy side come out. Here's one quote that puzzles me to this day. So Ginny says that Harry's got a hippogriff tattoo on his chest. When, they're hanging out in Half-Blood Prince. It is months later, during the Battle of Seven Potters, that Ron confirms, "I knew Ginny was lying about that tattoo." And every time I read this, I was like, whoa. Does Ron really never see Harry without a shirt on? The Quidditch locker rooms? Their dorm at Hogwarts? Sharing a bedroom at the Burrow? Either Harry is a never nude and, showers with clothes on, Ron is just blind, or this is basically a plot hole. This never made sense to me.
I mean, when Ginny says, okay, first off, I'll say, I never took this literally. I took this as a joke. I took this as Ron, making light of this, being funny, making a joke in this moment of just now I'm dressed, now I'm now I'm Harry through Polyjuice Potion. So guess Ginny was lying about that. But even if it wasn't a joke, Ginny says this, at the very end of Half-Blood Prince, and it was definitely a joke at that time. I don't think Ron believed it one bit, which makes me think that he's just riffing off of that joke again. But also, if theoretically he did believe it, it's really right at the end of Half-Blood Prince. So it could, if he believed that somehow Harry had recently got a tattoo, there wouldn't have been that much opportunity for him to see it. There would have been a pretty brief amount of opportunity for him to see it. I think it's just a joke, though. I don't take it seriously at all.
Sorry to push back, but that conversation is immediately when Harry and Ginny start going out,
which is right at the end of Half-Blood Prince.
It's not right at the very end. They start going out after the Quidditch match. I think April or May. There are 2-3 months in which they're going out after this conversation.
Sure, but does he necessarily see Harry's chest during that time? I could also imagine Harry making a funny thing of being no, can't show you the tattoo, whatever. I could imagine it being a thing.
I could see that.
Harry being no, can't show you, but I think it's really just Ginny knew that Ron wasn't going to believe it, made it a joke, and Ron is, and now it's become like an in joke kind of thing. And
Ron is
just
jealous, like you just said, Sophia. Like Ron is still jealous of Harry. This is another instance of him like clearly lingering on that comment from several months ago, and then bringing it up. I don't know.
Wait, why do you say jealous?
He's like ruminating on like this comment about Harry's like manhood essentially. And he's like, yeah. And he's like right now, like in the same sense that he was like threatened. What was the other quote from Deathly Hallows with the Polyjuice potion and Hermione? Like he's just like self-conscious right now.
Yeah. But I think with the sort of, like, I think he was annoyed before, not because Ginny was telling people he had a Hungarian horntail tattoo or whatever, but because she said that she's been telling people he had a pygmy puff tattoo, but didn't say where. And I think that was the part that, like, got to him, was that Ginny, his younger sister, is like, you know, now she's the new hot thing because she's dating Harry and everyone's talking to her. And the idea that she might be telling people that he had a pygmy puff tattoo, like, I think that was what got to him, not that Harry was, like, that people thought he had a Hungarian horntail tattoo. Like, I don't think there's any jealousy really here. I think it was just, like, him getting a little annoyed at Ginny for like, trying to spread or pretending at least that she was spreading a rumor that made him sound bad.
Oh, no, I disagree. I think it's absolutely jealousy because he's jealous of Harry, you know, in general. And, you know, he's jealous of Harry because Harry's famous, because Harry's rich, because he thinks Hermione might like him. And now on top of that, people think that Harry's like this macho guy with like a dragon or a hippogriff tattoo. And then Ginny like very explicitly makes the comparison that, you know, you're the type of guy that we can say has a pygmy puff tattooed. So, like, even if it was done in jest, I think it hits Ron in his insecurities.
I don't know. I think more in that moment it hit him. I don't think it's something he's ruminating off of. I just don't. Like, I think it was so obvious that Ginny had made it up.
Oh, no, it's obvious that it's a joke, but it's still...
But then why would he bring it up in this moment if he... Like, I don't understand why he would bring it up in this moment.
Because it knocks Harry down.
Yeah, exactly. Because, like,
no, it doesn't. If he knew it was a joke and did not intend didn't intend what he's saying right now as a joke, then I don't see how it knocks Harry down.
Well, because it can be a joke, but it's still like I guess you're not, like, you know, the manly rock star that Ginny's making you out to be type thing. Which
he already knew. Like, which both of them already knew. I think that's a
stretch.
Right,
but he gets to say it. And point it out.
I think we'll have to agree to disagree on this one. I don't agree with that.
Yeah. Also, I did just look it up at the lexicon. They go out right at the beginning of May. So at this point, like, there's been 2 months of Harry and Ron sharing a dorm. I mean,
I don't think it's quite 2 months, but anyway, going on.
Yeah. So, you know, during the dating period, when Ginny is spreading around that, you know, Harry has all kinds of tattoos, Ginny and Harry shared several sunlit days upon getting together. And, I mean, I always thought that this was pretty clear that, like, yeah, they did it.
I don't actually believe they did, but I believe they did stuff. I just don't know how far they went.
Really?
Because Harry has such little experience, to be honest. Like, I don't think he necessarily... Like, I'm not saying he did or didn't, but I don't think he's necessarily going straight there. Just in the first couple days after he basically has the second kiss of his life, like, he might have, but he also very easily might not have, you know?
Oh, no, I could agree that, like, probably the first couple days they, like, fooled around. But I definitely think in, like, the 2 months they were together that they did it.
Yeah, I
sure,
think
but
both can be true.
They say literally sharing several sunlit days upon getting together. So I was taking it literally as in within the first few days. I don't think they're doing it.
Oh no, they're doing something, but
yeah, they're
not
doing
that.
Stuff, but yeah.
Stuff and things.
Speaking of the stuff,
I think
there is definitely some stuff that Harry is thinking about to do with Ginny's boobs. During the wedding, Aunt Muriel makes a comment about how low-cut Ginny's dress is, and Ginny turns around and winks at Harry, and then Harry's mind wandered a long way from the marquee, back to afternoons spent alone with Ginny in lonely parts of the school grounds.
Harry's a boobs guy. Nothing wrong with that.
If anyone was wondering.
Yep, it all checks out. Well, and like more blatantly, and again, this was part of the like early Death Hallows, like we're just going there. Ginny says on Harry's 17th birthday, when she like pulls him into her bedroom, she's like, she wants to give him something to remember me by. And I was like, yeah, okay, so like she was just straight up gonna have sex with him, like one for the road.
Until Ron comes in.
Yeah.
And it's so obvious that, like, Hermione's trying to stop him.
Yeah. But no, Ronald Cockblock Weasley has to ruin their fun.
Yeah.
Hey, if he's not getting anybody, ain't nobody getting any.
Yeah.
I mean, that's apparently his
Aunt
rule.
Muriel isn't there yet, so... Yeah.
That was savage and I loved it. Yeah. But actually, so talk of Ron getting some. When he finally gets together with Lavender Brown, which also, quick side note, yesterday I met a guy whose favorite character was Lavender Brown. And I was like,
What?
huh. Right? Like, he had a Lavender Brown t-shirt on, and I was like, where'd you get it? And he's like, oh, I'm a huge fan. My friend got it made for me. He had, like, pins and everything for Lavender, and I was like, well, okay.
Okay, then.
Yeah. But the line is, Ron was wrapped so closely around Lavender Brown, it was hard to tell whose hands were whose. And I was like, well. Looks like Ronald Cockblock Weasley started his career with at least a double. Which is the sportiest thing I will ever say on this podcast. So there, we're done.
It sounded great.
Thank you. But yeah, look at him going right for first and second base in one go.
He was desperate at that point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you guys think he and Lavender did it? Because I don't think so.
I think
I could... I don't know. I don't think so. To be honest, and I can't explain why. Yeah, I don't think so.
How long did they date? Mm-hmm. Like, months, right?
Oh, yeah, months.
Yeah. Knowing Ron, knowing Lavender Brown, or her character, yeah. My headcanon says yes.
My headcanon says no, because she got really annoying to him really quickly, and it was more about just having someone and having Hermione be jealous on some level than it was about him actually liking her, so I feel like he would not cross that line.
I also think that he is very insecure, and I think that he would be very insecure about doing stuff that he didn't know how to do, especially with someone he didn't like.
100%
I think
trust.
Yeah, I think that he wanted to seem like cool and experienced with Lavender. Like, I don't think he wanted Lavender to know that she was the first person he had kissed, and I think that he also wouldn't want her to know if they had sex. I don't think he would want her to know that she was the first person he'd had sex with, or no. I just don't see him being comfortable enough with her and with himself to be able to go there.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Yeah, I definitely think he's way too insecure to do things with her. Like, the way I say it is, like, she probably wanted to do a lot, and he just sort of stuck to fooling around. Like, she was like, let's do it, and he's like, no, let's just, like, do, like, hand stuff. Like, I could see, like, her giving him a handy or a blowjob. He definitely wouldn't go down on her because, like, that is above his level.
Also, like, it is kind of hard. Well, I guess... Sorry. I guess if you know about the room of requirement, it's not that hard to find a place on the grounds. Find a place to have sex. Especially, okay, if we think about, like, you know, Harry and Ginny were going out at this beautiful time of year where they could just, like, go find a secluded space on the huge sprawling grounds, and Ron and Lavender were going out at, like,
Scottish winter.
Scottish winter, like, but since you have the room of requirement, you know, you could find a place, you know? But I guess Draco is spending all his time in the room of requirement, so, like, nobody else can use it. So,
no, I would argue the common room. They're both in Gryffindor. I mean, they have to get the guys, but I know that the guys would, like, no, like, in the door, like, in the guys' dorm.
I see. I see.
Yeah, not, like, in the middle of the common, no. But, like, no. Yeah, but, like, it couldn't be in the girls. It would have to be in the guys, and you would have to plan it, which means the girl would probably have to plan it. But at the same time, like, I could see a bunch of guys in a dorm being, like, being very supportive of any guy who, like, their friend who they know is about to get some. They would probably, like, clear out. Like, I feel like they would.
Well, also, by then, they know silencing charms, because that's fourth-year curriculum.
You just, like, put a silencing charm on your
put
girlfriend?
The curtains down? Like, what?
Yeah, and you know what? Put Dobby's sock, you know, outside the bed canopy.
Oh, my God.
You know, a Gryffindor tie on the bed frame.
I'd want the room. That's all I'm saying. I'd want the whole room.
Yeah. I would want the room of requirement, because then you can have, like, make it look exactly the way you want, you know? You can like, decide all of the rules so that nobody can get in, and, like, you know. I would definitely prefer the room of requirement.
Oh, well, obviously.
Obviously.
Yeah. But also, you know, beggars can't be choosers. All right. So, yeah, I think that's about, like, you know, the big character ones I wanted to go over. So we've been, like, alluding to this. But basically, the way the series grew, I find fascinating in terms of the innuendo. Just because it starts so, like, innocent, so, like, wink, wink, like, very much the narration doing it. And then it just becomes very in your face with the characters making the jokes. And so, like, Order of the Phoenix has, like, one or two, like, you know, I think the twins and Big D being the obvious ones. But in Half-Blood Prince, they got really blatant. So the two I found, that I really enjoyed, are early on when, per Bill Weasley, Archie Philpott had a probity probe stuck up his ... And I mean, we did say the goblins are into some kinky Here's our proof. And then I love that Draco calls Harry the boy who scored, like cue wolf whistle. And also, this is before Harry gets with Ginny, so it's a prophecy. Is Draco Malfoy a seer all along? Mind blown. This is our theory now.
Did Draco and Harry already score?
Hey!
Oh.
Well, I mean, later on in Deathly Hallows, we do have the line, Malfoy was screaming and holding Harry so tightly it hurt.
Yes.
And I was like, I bet.
On another Half-Blood Prince note, one of my favorite innuendos is when Slughorn is pretending to be a armchair, and then when he is untransfigured, he says to Dumbledore, "There's no need to stick the wand in that hard," he said gruffly, clambering to his feet. It hurt. Oh my god.
I mean, exactly. Honestly, Dumbledore should know to use lube.
Yeah, seriously.
At this point, yeah, man, it's like 120. Speaking of Slughorn has a lovely dialogue tag, ejaculated. So I know people have pointed out to this other places online, and that's why I was aware of it. But I think Ron actually uses it too. I only thought of 2 instances, but one of them was in Order, and the other one was in Half-Blood. And it's even more funny because what he says, Slughorn says, Snape ejaculated Slughorn. That's who looks the most shaken, pale, and sweating.
You know what? This is a book 2 and 6 ring. In book 2, Lockhart has his wand overexcited by Snape, and in book 6, Slughorn is ejaculating because of Snape.
It's true.
Guys, we've cracked it.
Snape is like the sex god of the series.
Also, I like that when Ron has his ejaculation moment, it is Ron ejaculated loudly.
Oh, he would.
Oh my god.
Good stuff.
Yeah, that was a choice.
Yeah. And then we get to Deathly Hallows, and in Deathly Hallows, just the gloves are completely off. And like, honestly, like, part of it is them growing up, but I feel like Deathly Hallows also, Jo felt a sense of, like, liberation, where she's like, I published my series. Like, it's done. I don't need to worry about scaring off kids. Like, whoever's reading it has bought the book. Like, yeah. She wasn't worried about it anymore. Because again, we have Hermione with the polyjuice potion. We have Ginny's birthday present. Yeah, just Deathly Hallows is very fun because Jo just had no left to give.
One of my favorite, this has always been my favorite from Deathly Hallows, is the 12 fail-safe ways to charm witches. And I love how Ron describes it to Harry, and he says, well, Fred and George gave me a copy, and I've learned a lot. You'd be surprised. It's not all about wand work, either.
Ron would be surprised by that.
Ron would be surprised. Oh. No, my favorite exchange is when they're discussing Horcruxes, and Hermione's like, while the magical container is still intact, the bit of soul inside can flit in and out of someone if they get too close to the object. I don't mean holding it in for too long. It's nothing to do with touching it, she added before Ron could speak. I mean close emotionally. And I think that is the sexiest Horcruxes have ever sounded.
Another way in which Deathly Hallows, like, is very upfront about some of the more sexual stuff. It's like, okay, we knew before that Aberforth had gotten in trouble for performing illegal charms on goats, but it was not like, there was no explanation of what those might be or anything like that. But then here Rita Skeeter describes Aberforth as having a fondness of fiddling around with goats. And that sounds a lot more sexual.
Yup.
And it's good because it's like, it's right on that edge of, like, I think the first time I read it when I was 11, I did not read that in a weird way. I was just like, okay, he performed some charms on goats, you know? But then as you get older, you're like, oh, yeah, okay.
Well, do you remember when Jo Rowling was asked in an interview what charms Aberforth was trying to put on the goats?
No.
And she just... Oh, it's amazing. Actually, if you give me 1 sec, I think I'm gonna pull it up because it's fantastic. I want to do this justice.
Okay.
Oh, yes. So this kid asks, in Goblet of Fire, Dumbledore said his brother was prosecuted for practicing inappropriate charms. And Jo just buries her head. No. On a goat. What were the inappropriate charms he was practicing on that goat? And Jo says, how old are you? 8.
8.
And Jo responds, I think he was trying to make a goat that was easy to keep clean, with curly horns. That's a joke that works on a couple levels. I really like Aberforth and his goats. But, you know, Aberforth having this strange fondness for goats, if you've read book 7, it came in really useful to Harry later on. Because, you know, goat, stag. If you're a stupid Death Eater, what's the difference? So that is my answer to you.
Oh my god. An 8-year-old.
It's so well done.
No.
Honestly, that was a good save on her part.
That's really funny. Oh my god.
Which, like, listen, I can relate because every time I do a book event, there is always a precocious 8-year-old in the front row, and I was like, okay, yep, gotta watch myself. Because at my first book launch for Dumbledore, we did a dance number, of course, about whether Dumbledore is gay or not. And part of my choreography was like a bit of crotch thrusting, because, you know, that's the kind of song it was. And like, I told my dancers, I was like, okay, pending on if there are kids, we're just gonna do like fun little hip bumps instead. And then sure enough, there was this 9-year-old sitting in the front row, and I was like, okay guys, hip bumps, hip bumps.
That's really funny. Well, on the topic of whether or not, okay, well, obviously Dumbledore is gay, but on the topic of Dumbledore's gayness, and also on Rita Skeeter's article, one of Rita's quotes is, "After they've read my book, people may be forced to conclude that Grindelwald simply conjured a white handkerchief from the end of his wand and came quietly." Wow. And my response would be, I wouldn't be so sure of that, Rita. As Dumbledore might say, you seem to be under the impression that I will, what is the phrase? Come quietly? Oh my god.
That deserves a slow clap.
Sorry.
I'm gonna need a minute.
Ron could never. That's only something you get from years of, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Another Dumbledore. I believe personally that Doge, Alpheus Doge, is very into Dumbledore. Maybe that they're both into each other.
Yeah.
So he describes the mutual attraction between him and Dumbledore when they first met, and then they don't go on, but they're going to go on a very long, cozy trip, just the two of them, after they graduate for several months. Muriel says, "We all know you worship Dumbledore." And then Aberforth says, "Thought the sun shone out of my brother's every orifice, he did." And I'm like, every single one. I'm sure he did.
I adore that line. I use it in everyday conversation as much as I can.
Oh my god.
Just what a way with words Aberforth has.
Exactly.
Poor Alpheus. Dumbledore was his one that got away.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think I wrote a song parody of that as well. Katy Perry's The One That Got Away. Yeah, that's the vibe. Well, a few odds and ends, but I remember in The Prince's Tale, there's a flashback to the Yule Ball. And we see Fleur Delacour and Roger Davies came giggling in from the grounds. And I was like, Oh, Fleur Delacour got around. She found something she liked at Hogwarts.
Oh, yeah. Okay, another Goblet of Fire one. Okay, this is in the series. It is about a kid, but we're taking it out of context, so don't make it weird for that reason.
Don't add us, as the kids say.
Yeah. So the quote is, this is the little boy Kevin who's at the in the Quidditch World Cup. But anyway, out of context, holding a wand and poking happily at a slug in the grass, which was swelling slowly to the size of a salami. And then his mom says, "How many times, Kevin? You don't touch Daddy's wand! Yuck!" And it ends with the swollen slug bursting. And I'm like, okay then.
Gross.
Very gross. Very gross. Also, we already mentioned this briefly, but I just want to talk about it one more time. The very obvious "Can I see Uranus to lavender" line. But of course, when I read this, I was like 9 for the first time. When I was like 9. I did not understand this at all. So I was just, every time I reread this, which was like, I reread it so many times before I was old enough to understand it. I was like just trying so hard to understand why Professor Trelawney was so angry at them, and I just could not figure it out. I was like, I thought it was because right before this, Lavender is like, "Oh, I think I have an unaspected planet," and she's like, "Oh no, that's Uranus." And I thought that Ron saying, "Can I see Uranus to Lavender?" was like him making fun of Lavender for thinking that it was an unexpected planet when it was actually just Uranus, and was just like, ha ha ha, you were wrong. And that Trelawney was mad about that. And I was like, that seems like an extreme overreaction to what he said. Mm-hmm. And it fully took me a very long time before I was like, oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. Uranus jokes never get old.
Yep.
And again, in the Poconos with the boys and their, bowel habits that I now know so much about, we were lying stargazing, and this girl obsessed with astrology was there. And she was prattling on about our horoscopes and, who had what in the 7th house. And so apparently I am Saturn incarnate, whatever that means to anybody.
Okay.
And the other boy was like, what am I? And I was like, you are the Lord of Uranus, let's be honest. And so we just spent the rest of the summer calling him the Lord of Uranus, because he's like, yeah, that checks out.
That's really funny. So you were born under the baleful influence of Saturn?
I was indeed. Yes.
Yeah.
She also said that I am karma incarnate. And I was like, I love that, because karma's a bitch and so am I.
Wait, have you already had your Saturn return?
Yes. Yeah, because I'm 33.
How was that?
Highly pandemicized. Yeah. My Saturn return was 2021. So not spectacular, to be honest.
Not a Uranus in sight. Truly.
No. No, 2021 is the one where we chased out that horrible boss we had for 3 months. So there definitely was a Uranus in sight. Anyway, sorry, moving on from my horoscope. So, Sierra, tell me, what are the 7 ingredients of our 69 special? Usually the special where that's concerned is dinner for 2. But what is it here?
Well, we actually have 2 separate specials. And Sophia's got the first one. Go ahead.
Okay, so mine is looking at page 69 of each of the 7 books and finding a piece of innuendo from each of those pages.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Some of the earlier ones are not nearly as suggestive, which kind of makes sense. So Sorcerer's Stone, best I could find, is, this is Hagrid, clapping his great hand on Harry's shoulder and making Harry's knees buckle. To me, that sounded just like a romance novel where, every time somebody touches someone else, their knees always buckle and, their knees are going weak, whatever, when the love interest touch them. So it's, starts out pretty PG. In Chamber of Secrets, we have Ron talking about the restriction on the reasonable restriction on underage wizardry, whatever. Sorcery. Obviously, I'm having as much trouble as Ron in coming up with what it's called, because he calls it the restriction of thingy. And I was thinking, Ron might need to get himself a nightgown like Archie if his thingy is feeling that restricted. So,
seriously, he's about at the age where he should really switch to boxers from briefs.
Yeah, maybe he wants a nice, healthy breeze around his privates. Thank you very much.
I mean, honestly, who doesn't? It feels very nice.
All right, and then in Prisoner of Azkaban, we have Ron banged his way into the room. It's quite athletic of him.
Good for him.
And then Goblet of Fire, there are places muggles can't penetrate. And I'm thinking of that meme from Pitch Perfect that's not a good enough reason to use the word penetrate.
I think any reason is a good enough reason to use the word penetrate.
But now I'm just imagining this as being I don't know, what now I'm just imagining like maybe like a muggle who's like, you know, had sex with a wizard and it's like never can go back. Like there are places muggles can't penetrate.
Yeah. Once you go magic, you never go back.
Yeah. Then we have Order of the Phoenix. This was not a very sexy scene, but the best line I could find is the way he looks at us when he sees us. This is Snape, who is looking at them not very nicely, but I can imagine it as like out of context as like a very like sultry looks of like repressed sexual desire.
Yeah, I can't imagine that, to be completely honest.
Maybe not from Snape, but if you can imagine this line in some other from someone else, maybe.
Yeah, anyone else, please.
Anyone else. Then Half-Blood Prince, Slughorn got to his feet, but seemed uncertain what to do with himself. He shot a furtive look at Harry, then crossed to the fire and turned his back on it, warming his wide behind. "Don't think I don't know why he's brought you," he said abruptly. To me, it sounds kind of like Harry is like an escort or like someone who has been brought along to like seduce Slughorn. Which, like, in the fanfic version of this scene, like, that kind of is what Harry is doing, is like seducing Slughorn to a certain extent. So, yeah, could have gone very differently.
That one, the furtive look.
Yeah.
And the wide behind. That was just
wide
packed.
behind. And right after that, don't think I don't know why he's brought you.
I mean, let's be honest. If Dumbledore thought it would work, he would 100% bring some Nocturne Alley Sally to convince Slughorn to come to Hogwarts.
Oh my god. Nocturne Alley Sally. Okay, and then we end with a steamy threesome scene in Deathly Hallows.
Excellent.
Lupin grabbed Harry by the upper arm and dragged him, none too gently, back into the kitchen, where Hagrid was still attempting to ease his bulk through the back door.
Oh my.
Whoa.
Whoa, indeed.
Yeah, I can imagine why Hagrid would have a hard time getting through the back door. I mean, it's pretty big.
Oh.
All 16 inches of that. Yeah.
Oh.
My God. I had a very similar idea, but instead to find just the first one in each book, the first one that we come across. So, Sorcerer's Stone on page 7, but I can promise a wet night tonight. Chamber of Secrets. I have two, just because the first one was maybe potentially iffy, but page 10, Dudley lazes around eating popsicles, watching Harry do things like wash the car and wash the windows, etc.
Oh, Dudley 100% likes to watch.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
So my backup, in case that one didn't pass muster, was page 31, which was Percy spending a load of time shut up in his room. Only so many times you can polish a prefect bag.
Yep.
Oh no, we can't wait till page 31. That's too long a time coming.
Too long.
Prisoner of Azkaban. So rereading the whole him doing homework under the covers, the idea of it is a lot more innuendo than the actual text. Like, I couldn't get a really good quote out of there. But on page 28, it had been a long time since he'd lost control and made something explode.
That's a good one.
I thought it was good enough to wait for page 28.
Yes.
For that.
Yes.
Goblet of Fire, page 6. Sorry. Frank edged closer, grasping his walking stick firmly.
Oh, so Frank Bryce is into edging.
Clearly.
Okay, good to know.
Getting closer.
And he doesn't have a wand. He's got a walking stick.
He's got a prop.
Order of the Phoenix, page 3.
Ooh.
Every day this summer had been the same. The tension, the expectation, the temporary relief, and then mounting tension again. And always growing more insistent all the time. The question of why nothing had happened yet.
Oh, poor Harry's having performance anxiety.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god.
Half-Blood Prince, I got all the way to page 29, and this was as good as it got because I kept going all the way until about page 60, and I still hadn't found another one, so shocking considering how many more are later in the book. But page 29, the Dark Lord has, in the past, entrusted me with his most precious.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it's a
Which
shockingly
doesn't
long
make
time
Cursed
from there to
Child
any other.
canon.
Yes. No, thank you.
No.
I mean, one-sidedly, sure. That's the
Yes.
whole, yes, one-sidedly, very one-sided. And then Deathly Hallows, page 8, classic wand euphemisms. Lucius, I see no reason for you to have a wand anymore. And then, your wand, Lucius, I require your wand. Malfoy gazed sideways at his wife. At her touch, Malfoy put his hand into his robes, withdrew a wand, and passed it along to Voldemort, who held it up in front of his red eyes, examining it closely. He drew out his own wand and compared the lengths.
As you do.
As you do.
Oh my god. Yeah. And all of the male Death Eaters are like so shocked when Voldemort asks to borrow one of their wands. And I'm like, yeah, they are. And I see it as a very like symbolic castration of Lucius.
Yeah.
And that he has to like check Narcissa first to make sure it's okay.
Well, because
Yeah.
as his wife, she
Are you
gets first
sure?
dibs on his wand. Just
What?
saying.
Yeah, well, it's like, you
Yeah.
already have a son. You don't need any more kids, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then there's the part where after that, Voldemort is like, give you my wand, Lucius, my wand. And I see Voldemort kind of like a very like sexy dominatrix here who's just like, I don't think you've done enough to deserve my wand yet. Like, you better work for it. And then we have some Voldemort raised Lucius Malfoy's wand. The figure came to life with a groan and began to struggle against invisible bonds. And I'm like, yeah, I guess we know how wizards have fun with bondage.
Oh, yeah.
We also have a moment where shining black ropes flew from his wand tip and bound Ron head to foot. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Do we think Lucius was so perturbed because Narcissa said the exact same thing to him in the bedroom quite often? Your wand, Lucius. I require your wand.
Yes.
And he's like, oh, I don't like those words anymore.
Poor Narcissa. Gotta find new language to use.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why he gazed sideways at his wife right after that. He's just like, honey, those are our words.
I swear I didn't tell him.
Voldemort used legilimency and saw it, and that's why he specifically used those words.
Yeah. Also, guys, let's be honest. The Malfoy safe word is 100% peacock.
Peacock. Sorry. That's funny.
Oh, that was fun. That was very fun.
Did we want to talk about the movies or move straight into?
I mean,
We
I
can.
never want to talk about the movies, but it's up to you guys.
I have
already
like one.
over
I have like
time.
one line, or we can finish.
Sure. I just need
Yeah.
to point out this your guys' thoughts on this whole thing. Hagrid and Madame Maxime in the fourth movie. Do you guys remember that scene where she like picks something out of his beard and then eats it?
Yes, it's. Really
I
weird.
try not to on a daily basis.
I'm just like I'm like that was like an assault on the audience. Like,
Okay,
It was like,
my
wow.
understanding of that was like because she has a weird, like, after she tastes it, sorry, you guys, after she tastes it, she has this kind of concerned look on her face. Mm-hmm. And in the books, he's supposed to have put, like, basically, like, axle grease on his beard and stuff to keep it tamed down. And
your mind went.
Okay, no, sorry. That's not where my mind went, but okay. My most, like, generous reading is that she wanted to see... Okay, it's weird, but, like, that the reason she has a weird look on her face afterwards is that it was, like, some sort of weird grease that she was, like, feeling on his beard and wanted to know what it was, and then it was like, ew, that's gross. But it's very strange, no matter what. I do not like it at all. I do want to quickly say, I know that Irvin hates movie stuff, but this is my favorite, like, little movie moment between Hermione and Ron in the third movie, is the two of them are just, like, basically on an unintentional date to Hogsmeade because Harry can't go with them. And they're just, like, standing in front of the Shrieking Shack. And Hermione says, "Do you want to move closer?" And Ron has this, like, alarmed look on his face. And Hermione's like, "To the Shrieking Shack, I mean."
That was cute.
It's really funny. I love that one. All right, we won't torture you anymore, Irvin. Unless you have another
thank you.
We're good.
All right. Hey, Irvin.
Yeah?
What is playing on the pub's jukebox today?
Well, I'm so glad you asked. There are so many wonderful Wizard Rock songs full of innuendo. The Moaning Myrtles have a few great ones that got me into Wizard Rock. Swish and Flick's entire discography applies. But I think today we're going to listen to Slytherin Weekend. This is one of the filthiest songs I know of in Wizard Rock, so give it a listen.
Slytherins work hard 5 days of the week. At the week's end, it's pleasure that we seek. No one really knows what we get up to. In the Slytherin dungeons, this is what we do. Fridays are for frisking, Saturdays for snogging, Sundays are for sleeping in with each other. Some think our behavior is rather atrocious, but it's in our nature to be so precocious. We're not frigid, we like to show affection. You can find us kissing in the restricted section. It's not even a secret, it's really quite simple. Just look at our mascot, it's a phallic symbol.
Fridays are for frisking, Saturdays for snogging, Sundays are for sleeping in with each other.
We're hot and we know it, we ain't afraid to show it. We've got it, we flaunt it, and you know that you want it. We're hot and we know it, we ain't afraid to show it. We've got it, we flaunt it, and you know that you want it.
We're hot and we know it, we're not afraid to show it. We've got it, we flaunt it, and you know that you want it.
So, Swish and Flick always takes the innuendo of the Potter series to its logical extreme. Yeah. Well, with that, Leah, we just have to say thank you so much for visiting us at the Three Broomsticks for what is perhaps our silliest episode. I'm so glad your humor is as sophomoric as ours, and I hope you enjoyed.
I had such a great time. That was by far the kinkiest episode maybe ever.
Oh, that's the hashtag we're going for. Kinkiest episode ever.
Thank you so much for having me, and I look forward to more episodes to come from the Three Broomsticks.
Yeah. Leah, where can listeners follow you? Is there anything you want to plug while you're here?
Sure, I just have a baking account, so if you're into, sweet treats and recipes, they're often gluten-free and almost always vegan. So on Instagram, it's _caramelized life, and then website is thecaramelizedlife.com. And look out September 1st. This probably already be published when you're listening, but I'm doing a new recipe for butterbeer ice cream sandwich cookies. So...
Ooh.
Back to Hogwarts Day. Yeah.
Okay.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much. And if you, dear listener, enjoyed your time at the pub today, please rate and review us online or tell your friends about our show. Huge thanks again to Katie Reekin, who bought us this round of drinks at the Three Broomsticks.
Yay! Thank you so much.
If you would like to buy us the next round, head on over to patreon.com/Three Broomsticks. That's with the numeral 3 to sign up. If you also want to find us online, we're on various different social media channels, all linked on our website and in the show notes. You want to find out what's up with Quidditch this season, or find out what's coming up on our upcoming Patreon, all of that and much, much more is available there. You can visit our website at Three Broomsticks Pod with the 3 spelled out, THREE, broomstickspod.com, to also submit a topic or let us know your thoughts.
Yes, let us know your favorite Harry Potter pickup line. I want to hear these. Well, and next time we meet at the Three Broomsticks, we're doing a complete about-face and discussing what is perhaps the least sexy chapter in the entire series, Order of the Phoenix, Chapter 15, The High Inquisitor. And with that, I've been Irvin.
And I'm Sophia.
And I'm Sierra. Thank you for listening, and see you next time in the Three Broomsticks.
Cheers!
Give me big old buckets of butterbeer. Give me big old barrels of butterbeer. Give me the drink I love so dear. And another round for my friend right here of the sweet old butterbeer.
This episode of The Three Broomsticks was edited by Brittany Fisher. The theme song was written and performed by the Faithful Sidekicks. Make sure to check them out at thefaithfulsidekicks.com.
Vincent likes it rough. Gregory likes spanking. Marcus likes to watch. Blaise prefers wanking. Millicent likes bullwhips. Theo likes ropes and knots. Daphne's not the kinky sort, but likes to call the shots. Pansy likes Draco, but she's willing to share. One night we had a threesome after playing Truth or Dare.